I'm ready.
Rick,
Megan.
here we are again, back in
I
phase
know.
one. Oh
I
man.
know.
Oh
It
man.
doesn't last. Hope it
I
doesn't
know.
last long.
I know. Well, we got to get these people out of the hospitals, and then
Right?
I know you've got family that work in the front line, on the front lines
Yeah.
today, and
Yeah.
so I know you and I have talked about it. So we'll just, hope and pray for everybody to recover and for science.
No
This is a
kidding, right? Oh,
situation. Until then, we will do our best to keep our hands out of our mouth and not
yeah,
breathe on other people and wear our masks. And
exactly. Be
yeah,
careful all the time, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
was at a listing appointment the other day. I didn't tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
This is always my little off the cuff thing. And
Mm-hmm.
an agent came in. It was really kind of a situation, a little strange. And an agent came in while I was at the appointment
Mm-hmm.
and was like overlapping. I was like, okay. And they weren't wearing a mask. I
Yikes.
thought, oh my gosh, is this your first impression? This is not good. But
And that was the agent?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
I know. I was like, I don't care how hot it is in here. This is the rule. So
Yeah, no kidding. No
anyway,
kidding.
okay.
Yeah,
So
wow.
we came up with a really good topic for today.
Yeah,
And
it's a good one.
I love this tool, and you can never stop learning, right? You can never stop learning. I love to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just like a sponge. I love to learn. I love
Mm-hmm.
to listen. And earlier this year, we had some of our uh, uh, you know repeat clients. I'm sorry, our
Mm-hmm.
repeat clients who we love and adore, and they wanted to purchase a house. This is before March. They wanted to purchase a house and they had to sell a house, but their offer wasn't going to be competitive if it had a contingency. And they could qualify for both mortgages, not
Mm-hmm.
comfortably, but they could.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were able to pull something out of your hat for us, and I appreciated that. So that way we could write a competitive offer for
Mm-hmm.
their purchase house, get it, and as soon as because there's a lot of things happening. You've got they have 3 little kids at home. They were both working at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how are we going to pull this off for this family without stressing them out, right? Because we know stress
Mm-hmm.
is not a good situation. So they were able to qualify for both houses, although their goal was to sell house number 1. And we were
Mm-hmm.
able to do it really, really the most intelligent way that we could. And that was with the goal of closing on the purchase house first, then closing on their first house. And they were going to take all that equity that they wanted to use, which was like over $100,000 they had. Congratulations to them.
Mm-hmm.
And put it on the loan for the new house as quick as they could, so they didn't have a big
Mm-hmm.
fat payment. And we were
Right.
able to do that. And it was called a recast. So tell us the pros and the cons and what other loan officers might suggest other things, and you can kind of cross over that.
Yeah, thanks. That's a really cool tool. No one really knows about this. And again, it's called recast. And so here's what happens in that scenario. Let's go back to that situation, a few months ago. You take the $100,000 out, right? Most people would say, "Oh, no problem. Get the $100,000 out, then refinance your house, and then lower your payment." Seems logical, right? Well, the challenge with that is, in my mind, a couple of things. Number one, we don't know what the rates will be 6 months or a year from now,
It's
right?
risky.
Right? No idea. Number two, you're paying for the refinance all over again. So you paid for the loan, the closing costs when you bought the house. Now you're going to pay for closing costs again when you refinance the house to lower the payment, and who knows what that rate might be. So there's a certain amount of risk with that, right? So we have this cool tool called recast. And so here's what recast does. Instead of refinancing the house, and having the risk of what the rates might be in 6 months or a year, whenever that timeline is, or 2 years or whatever that is, you actually can by the way, this is a one-time option for the life of the mortgage. You have the option to pay down that $100,000 in that example without refinancing the house,
Hmm.
and then you but essentially re-amortize the loan and then lower the payment. Okay.
And because
So
I mean, a refinance is like, it's risky because you don't know what the rate's going to be. And especially back then at the beginning of the year, it was just as this whole COVID thing was
it was very
happening and the
volatile.
bond market went bananas. I mean, they would have been like in full on not good shape.
Right.
And so,
Right.
and so,
And so,
so, and the recast only, I think it was like $350 or something, right?
no, so here's the cool, close, very close to that. But here's the other thing about that. On the recast, you don't have to qualify for anything. There's no requalifying. There's no new appraisal. None of that stuff. It's a flat fee of $250. That's it. And so let's take an example where in COVID, let's say one of the borrowers loses their job. Now they want to refinance the house and pay the mortgage down. Now you have less income, right? Under the recast, there's no income qualifying. There's no income verification. There's none of that stuff. You pay a small fee of $250. May reamortize your loan. Just keep on going. That's it. There's no length. It takes about just a few days to do it.
So what's
pretty cool.
So how long does somebody have, like, because you said it's a one-time option. Is that with all loans or different lenders, or?
Not every company allows for a recast. Oddly enough, we do. We allow for a recast. And then again, the thing about the recast is they keep their low rate, especially in this market. Rates as low as they are.
Oh my
the
gosh,
idea somebody, the idea of somebody refinancing their house a year from now to get a lower rate is probably not going to happen, right? I don't see a path to rates. It's just crazy. So you keep the same low rate, no qualifying for a new loan, no appraisal fees, title fees, escrow fees, one flat fee of $250, lower the payments, and you're done.
Yeah. Very good. And then how long do they have to do that? Like in our scenario, can they do it once with the approved lender forever, or is there a certain period of time?
You can do it at any time. It can be 5 years from now. Let's say someone buys a house and then, 5 years from now they have a lot of money, a big bonus or something. They run into $50,000 they want to use for the down to lower the payment. You can take that $50,000 even 3 or 4 or 5 years from now and just pay it down and lower the payment.
So I mean, like, yeah. And so I don't want people to get confused with, it's like, okay, typically you can always put a big chunk of money against your principal of your house. But what we're talking about is where they actually re-amortize your loan. So your payment
Very
changes.
good distinction. Very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So here's the difference. You take that $50,000, Megan, and you just pay down the mortgage, right? On a fixed rate mortgage, that does not lower your payment. Your payment stays the same. What it does, however, is it accelerates your loan term. So you'll pay the house off sooner than you would otherwise, but you're not going to lower your payment. And so for most people, when they have that lump sum payment toward their mortgage, their goal is not to shorten the loan term. Their goal is to lower their payment.
Right.
And so you can do that without doing the refinance.
Well, that was very informative. I really appreciate that. And I'll get this information out. I'm late getting last week's email out. As you know, it's been bananas. So people are going to be bombarded with 2 emails this week. But I think it's good information worth sending. And I appreciate your input and your leadership.
Likewise. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Talk later. See you later.